What's going on, Choo Choo?
Hey, what's good with you, Unc? How you feeling?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Man, I had so much to talk about today. I had to bring you on. 'Cause you know how we talk shit. So,
I appreciate it.
let's jump into it. Where you want to start first? Gangbanging. What do you think about the gangbangers today opposed to, let's say, 1980?
I think the game bangers today, a few things. I think number one, I think they fake and they lost. Most of them aren't even nowhere near tough. You got a lot of people who represent hoods, never been there, don't know the OGs, don't know anything about it, and they just repping something that they heard because it's cool on the internet or it was popularizing the song or something like that. So I think a lot of people who are repping a hood don't have the respect and the loyalty that the guys from the 80s and the 90s had. They lived in the communities. They had a sense of obligation there.
Right, right. Um, a lot of these guys today are just so ass back. A lot of these guys today want to talk about each other. They more they act more like females than they do men. Would you
That's
agree
big
to that?
facts. That's big facts. Well, you got to realize they didn't have a lot of male guidance and role models to act like. So when they get upset, a lot of guys gonna act like they mama because that's all they seen is women get upset. They never seen how a man gets upset, how a man's gonna handle it.
No, you see that in the neighborhood. A man or woman, you can bring your child up good, and your child's still gonna be in the street. Um, I think all that's by choice. What I'm saying, what you see today, and what social media give us today, it's kind of like you're on the ass end of time. This shit is almost over, whether we like it or not. And we're gonna get into that part, but I say with the way politics is going today, when the war come, when it hit, I don't think a lot of brothers don't come outside. We so used to fighting each other, a lot of us ain't gonna attack that real threat. You feel me? You feel what I'm trying to say? So we fighting a losing battle because we continue to kill each other. We continue to go after each other for no apparent reason. And let's just say when I was growing up gangbanging, I really believed that it was a war between red and blue. I believed that.
Mhm.
And I understood that. But everybody wasn't on that same page. Meaning the whole hood wasn't on that same page.
No, you had some guys who, so I look at it like this, right? When I was growing up in the hood, you had some dudes who was all they wanted to go do was go ride on the enemies, go put in work. They didn't care about getting money, they didn't care about no girls, they didn't care about nothing. They just wanted to go ride. Then you had some homies who grew up and you know what? They was ladies' men. All they cared about is going to go find some skirts. Like, you know what I mean? They might make a little money here and there, but they'll fight if they have to, but don't give them no gun. They ain't about to go do nothing like that. But we grew up with them. We played football. We all lived together. And then you had some other guys that was just kind of around and there. But I think there's a difference between bangers and members. And see, the
Right.
gang bangers started basically outranking the gang members, and if you wasn't banging, then it was almost like you had no voice.
Well, how in the hell? No, that's not true. Ain't no gang member going to outrank a gang banger. That's unheard of. Motherfucker that wouldn't gang banging, wouldn't putting it down, or on the set like for real, couldn't tell me nothing. The
So
biggest
look,
problem.
So not to cut you off, but I watched this in my hood, right? You had a guy who was putting in all the work. He was, he was a rider for the hood, but then you had a guy who was the money man. He was financing everything in the hood. And both of those guys bumped heads and they thought that they both had an equal say. And the money man felt that more people should listen to him because hey, I could do more for you. I could do more for the hood than what he can. Only thing he's gonna
That
go do.
and if you put it that way, that's a known fact because in the hood we had the same problem with Suge Knight, and a lot of the homies. I mean, we was tight. Pirus was tight back in the day, but then when Suge came and the money and introducing him to real niggas, everybody went toward the money instead of the homies that they've been fucking with and breaking bread and riding with and doing all this, going to school. They start listening to the money opposed to the homie. And I bumped heads with Buntry and everybody else because they I wasn't paying them. I wasn't giving no nigga no money to knock out another nigga. You feel me? So by Suge paying for that, that's what they roll with. They roll with the money. And you had some cats in the hood that was D-boy that some people sided with, but in my neighborhood, and if anybody from my neighborhood listen to this, tell me I'm wrong. I didn't give a hoot toot if you sold dope or not, how much money you made. If you wasn't with the business like that, don't rock like that. Don't walk like that. Don't talk like you with that. Because at the end of the day, it's a big difference. Gang members, gang bangers. Those that are associated with the hood because they live in the hood. It's all different. So these days now, the guy that was really in the hood doing this thing, the guys that was living their life are on the back burner, which is cool because the ones of it's 2025. And if you 50, if you 60, 70, we shouldn't even be talking this. We shouldn't even be uttering what up, homie, on P's, on Paul Roof. We shouldn't even be doing it. Because at this point, I believe we're grandparents at this point. We got kids at this point. And that's the coldest shit. We had a lot of cats in the hood that passed away. Rest in peace, Skinny Tub, Big Frank, Showboat, that didn't have children. And here we are living this same life right now today. So really what I'm saying is, do you think gang banging is worth it in this time? It's worth living that life?
Definitely not. I mean, when we look at, and not to get, political or anything, but back in our day, it wasn't a camera everywhere. It was a different time. And I'm not saying it was right or wrong at that time, which we know it was wrong. We shouldn't have been doing it, but it was a different time. And I understand why it happened with the politicalness, with the rise of the Black Panthers, with everything that was going on, the spillover from the 60s to 70s and 80s. We understand why we were in those situations, but where we are today, where I mean, come on, you can get on your phone and order anything to your house right now. You can get on the internet and go to school and do what you want to do. I mean, you can make an app and be a multi-millionaire. These kids today don't have the same adversities that we had. It was very different when we were trying to get jobs, and a lot of the stuff and standing in lines and they hiring the white boys and the Mexicans over the black dudes. Like we had something very different. Like I ain't saying we didn't have a choice, but I understand why a
No.
lot of people so dope, robbed, and did what they did back in those days. I get it. But now I ain't saying racism don't exist, but what I am saying is you got a million opportunities and you ain't got to take a penitentiary chance for a couple $100.
Right. So why is the homies going on back? If we got all these opportunities, why are we going back?
Well, that's for a few different reasons, right? Because, like how we said, see, some of those dudes who was just gang banging, they didn't want no money, they didn't want nothing. All they wanted was to go wreak havoc and make a name for themselves for doing what they were doing. So some of these guys now, you got a lot of these kids, they mamas is lawyers and nurses, they dads is pilots, they live in affluent neighborhoods. They don't need to be gang banging. So they want to make a name for themselves. They want to get notoriety on social media. They want to go viral. You seen the dude, he did a shootout with the police and going to the different hoods and recording himself on the internet. Why was he doing it? He made himself a target. He was able to go into his rival enemy's hood, go to the store, go get a burger, and hey, we give you a pass, homie. Don't disrespect. We don't disrespect. You got too comfortable with that, and now you want to go to their hood, disrespecting, recording yourself shooting at them. For what? For notoriety and for clout, for no other reason but to get this internet sensation.
And then at the end of the day, you look on Facebook and you see a young cat getting 30, 45 years, 150 years, and he just break down crying. You know, no, no, it's not. It's really not funny, too,
No, it
because
is funny, Unc. Not look, Unc. I'm sorry. It's funny because they were so thug and so tough, and yeah, nigga, and excuse my language, but they be so tough. And then when that judge tell you life without the possibility of parole, 150 years, when that judge tell you that number, then guess what? You turn into a little kid. You turn into a little baby and start crying. But you was big bad tough man.
you use the word naive, and then at the end of the day, you can't be hypocritical because you lived that life, and
Hmm.
I can't be hypocritical. Everybody just wasn't born straight off the court. It ain't gangster by nature, not by choice with everybody. Uh,
Facts.
you know, the majority of the guys you got today are living the life of somebody that really did it. The cats we call busters and peons and weak motherfuckers, the ones we had Buster Week with and jumped on. These guys are your leaders today. You know what I'm saying? So this is our downfall. You know what I'm saying? This is where we fail. But can you honestly tell me that you would want to save this? What is a different way out of living this life? Because everybody ain't gonna make it to 50. Everybody ain't gonna make it to be 60. So how do we turn it around? Like in a real way, how do we turn it around?
Well, I think we start here, right? By one having these conversations, and that almost brings me to the next point I want to talk to you about, which is what happened at the little college when the white boys went to the college to go talk to the black kids about about political stuff. And I think we're at a point now where people got their minds made up. I don't want to hear it, So we have to show these new youths that there is another way, and the way we show them that is by right here. You're well known, everybody knows Mob James. I'm not that known, but specifically in the IE, people know me. So me as a Crip, you as a Blood, we can sit back and we can have conversations, not talking about gang stuff, but actually talking about men stuff, family stuff, and progressing the community and being positive. Once we start showing them that those things are possible, then you get some guy say, hey, you know what? I'm a Blood, but I know a Crip dude and he cool. I'm gonna work with him because Mob James and the Choosta was doing it. When we remember back in the 90s, I want to be like Mike. Remember that? So now, well, Mike sold out. Mike bought prisons and Mike did what he did. So now, guess what? We need the youths or these reform, Crip Mac type dudes, these NBA young boy type dudes. I want to be like Mob James. Mob James turned his life around. He's a reform Pyru. He's raising his grandson. He's doing things to the community. He's feeding the homeless. He's helping people get their CDL licenses. Yeah, he may have done a lot of bullshit back in the day, but I'll tell you what he's doing now. Same thing with me on my end. So that's what we can do. We can lead these guys by example, but also, and you know what I'm doing on my other end, we have to have some some institutions and things set up for these young gentlemen to go to. So when they get out of
Right.
jail, or when they say, hey, I'm done with the hood, come to the ranch. Come help me with these horses and these pigs. Let me put you on these solar panels. Let me get you in the CDL truck. Let me help you with a way to where you don't got to go back to the hood no more. And now it's easier for him to listen to me when I can help him with his financial problems. But those other dudes, remember Pastor Jenkins, and then was trying to tell us to do stuff. Pastor Jenkins was telling us to stop selling dope, but Pastor Jenkins couldn't pay his car note. And Pastor Jenkins was struggling. And he didn't want to accept my dope money because it was dirty money. But I'm not going to listen to you, Pastor, because you and Mama need money, but you don't want to get this money. So I'm going to do it by any means necessary. So
Right.
us,
That's
that Malcolm
that's
style generation, we got to show the youth there is an alternative method to do it. We ain't just talking about it. We're actually living it and showing them that there is an alternative method.
well. Let me go back. That was a bad analogy on Pastor Jenkins. Pastor Jenkins was trying to show us that uh, all money ain't good money, and regardless of what, I can't accept it. Even though I got to pay my rent, my gas bill, my car note. I'm a man of God, so there's certain things I'm not gonna do nor accept. So that's what Pastor Jenkins was trying to teach, a little respect for yourself. So I get that. I mean, you know, I've talked to a lot of kids. I've talked to a lot of people. I've helped a whole lot with some of these people. I'm gonna bring on this show, and we're gonna talk about it. But everybody don't want to be helped. Like social media is the prime example of everybody wants the rah rah. Everybody want to see you crash out. Everybody wants to want the world to see that you ain't shit, ain't gonna never be shit, ain't gonna never amount to nothing. Which the odds been against us for the longest, and we just making it worse. And I keep stressing that me going through the things that I went through in life, man, I refuse to have another black man, and it pissed me off to tell me, hey, you go get my phone off TV, to tell me that I ain't shit, I ain't gonna never amount to shit. And I can honestly say I listened to that from my father, at a young age. But then here we go, society is repeating this shit right back to me. And you cannot be an older man living a gang banging life or living that lifestyle. I swear to God, it's been like 4 years when I said, don't call me Mom James, call me James McDonald. And his brothers right now today has gave their life to God and gave up the nickname, gave up everything, and now they are who they are. And society is telling them, and some cats I didn't talk to is, don't nobody change that live that life. You can't change. Yeah, I'm here to tell you. There's certain things that I brought from that world to this, and I'll never forget it. And that's real life. How to survive and don't hesitate. If you got to, you got to. God ain't mad at you. Yeah, so but at some point we gotta get it, too. We gotta get it. And you know, I told him last week, I've been out of prison since 1988, bro. 1988. It's your choice. If you choose to go back to prison, like my little brother, he went violation, 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 because he didn't give a fuck how he moved after the fact. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm gonna get married and get off this shit. No, I ran right there and rock and roll with Suge. So, but it helped me and it kept me occupied. But I don't know, bro. I think if we don't nip this shit in the book, if the older cats don't start doing what I did, what Cartoon did, what all of these other brothers have done in their lifetime and walked away from it, we don't. You think?
Well, it's almost, I don't want to say it's too late, but there's an old saying that says, you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Once you squeeze it out, it's out. And we're almost at that point. And I think what I think is because you have the older generation, but usually the younger generations don't look at the older generation and say, "Hey, you realize what I'm going through. You're talking to me from the old perspective." So I think these older guys, us as an older guy, me as a mid-level, you as an older guy, but I think we need to really start working with the younger guys who can reach these guys, because there's some of these young guys, they got their head on straight. They not with the bullshit. They like, you know what, I understand some things, and they can reach some of these youths. Look at right now, right? We got podcasting, we got social media, and look at what you could do with the power of social media. But just like you said, everybody wants that rah-rah. So instead of monetizing, making money to help the community build schools, do different things with these monies and these proceeds, they're crashing out. They're, you know what I mean? They getting caught up on RICO indictments because they taking the money from YouTube and doing some crazy man shit with it. So, I think we got to get those people. Some people, they don't want to do right. You got to just realize that not only do they not want help, they just don't want to do right.
Right.
Some
Some of
people will lie to you to lie. There's no reason why they need to lie. They just, grandma always said, a nigga will volunteer a lie.
that's true.
And
Um,
so we gotta get to black people wanting to have conversations. So now this goes to my big part, right? Because I'm politically activated and savvy. And I think because back in the day, the gangsters were politically savvy. The Black Panthers were politically savvy. It was the Bloods and Crips that had met with Farrakhan, even though I know you don't agree with Farrakhan, but he showed them how to use some of their political might to get what they wanted in their communities.
why I don't agree with that?
Well, we've had conversations about Farrakhan before.
Okay, give me one thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Do you agree that Farrakhan came to the hood to help the Bloods and the Crips, or did he steal their money?
He got paid like a motherfucker, but didn't nothing really good come out of that. Bloods and Crips continue to do Bloods and Crips. That's a fact.
That is a fact. And here's the thing, Unc. I can, what did Mac 10 say? I can give it to you, but what, no, that's Dub C. I can give it to you, but what you gonna do with it? So if I give you this opportunity and this power, do you utilize it for your own self and for your betterment, or do you destroy yourself with it? What do you do
Most
with
of
it?
us, most of us do. Well, see, you felt man. Most of us grew up in the hood, and all this ain't never seen the money that they make in a day. Have never had money like that. And a lot of cats that possess this power don't have a clue of how to manifest it, how to control it, how to be a real motherfucker in power. You got you got cats, and I hate using his name, but sure, had no clue what to do with the power he had. Had no clue. You
No
feel me?
facts. He had to
So,
go to his head. He got what you call power drunk or power hungry.
well, a lot of cats do that. When when you get put on that pedestal as the big homie, as he the one, that shit run to most niggas' head. But the real ones keep their composure. And I know a lot of real ones that was out there that knew they was with the business, that conducted themselves like they was with it, that stood quiet. You feel me?
Hmm.
But every gangster is gonna go through it. Every gangster's gonna have their day. But a lot of these cats couldn't even sit in the same room with most people of today. This
So
podcast, would you say?
so I want to kind of go back to another thing you had said because you had asked was gang banging worth it, and I told you it's not, and we know we need to do something about it. But I do want to say this point. I do think that gangs and community protection is a necessary component in any community. So I do believe that. And if you look at what gangs were originally formed for, they were formed to protect the community against police brutality, against the oppressive government.
Man,
And
we are way past that right now.
well,
We
actually, we're not.
what it
Actually, we're not.
ain't name one neighborhood or what they call today community is looking out for the neighborhood, for the community.
Oh
Name
no, no.
where
As
the
far as
hell
the
you
gangs,
at?
yeah, you're right. As far as the gangs aren't doing it, but that's why I said they're still needed, though. They are still needed, but they need to have they they don't need to be out there selling dope, committing crime. So let's go back to the original reason of
Now wait a minute,
protecting
let's stay
the
right
community.
there. So you say the gangs are needed. Gangs ain't needed. Real black men are needed. Real stand up brothers are needed. Let's not let's put the red and blue down. We we already know this has failed us. Let's not point our guns at each other, but let's do like the Black Panthers. Let's do like Malcolm X. Let's have control. You feel me? Let's do like Farrakhan. Let's have control. Black men understanding. Black men under one. Let's have control. We don't have that. We don't need no hoods. We don't need no more gang banging. We are killing ourselves with gang banging, and the majority of the black men ain't making it past 25. And it's sad. But you had a kid at 17, 19 years old. You're leaving your babies to be raised by other people. I thank
So
God that I'm still here.
so do you think we can change the gangs to get back to their original purpose of protecting the community? Can we get them to get back to that? So whether we call them a gang or not, a group, a squad, a clique, or whatever, but you're right, we do need positive men in the community that are willing to protect it. Do we agree on that?
Yeah, you, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. So first, you got to get rid of the that stigma, gang banging. You got to get men on knowing how to talk to each other, respect each other. And once you get past that, then you form alliances. This hood, that hood, everybody in this sector is gonna do. We gonna patrol this. Everybody over here gonna patrol that. You don't have no. We don't have no nothing. No military skills. No nothing to come in and say. I wish they would come in our city instead of sitting up here rah rah and grab a gun and just start shooting sideways like this. No, we gotta be ready, man.
Hey, did you
That-
see the video where the young YN in Chicago was talking about he dared the National Guard to come to Chicago, that him and all the hoods were ready for the National Guard? Did you see that video?
yeah,
What do you think about that?
Lord have mercy. It would have been a slaughter. Uh, Iraq, Chirac, whatever y'all can call it, what you want to. You have people that train for it. Number two, you gonna run out of bullets before they do.
True,
That's a fact.
true.
Number three, why would you even set your mind to believe you can beat the military? Because if you defeat 500, they're gonna send 1,000 the next time, and you're gonna already be half-ass done with that. When niggas start hearing those 50 cows, they finna bust, they finna break. Man, we are not ready uh a war of that magnitude. We are not. I don't care what hood we in. Now, if we all join forces, hey, we can hold them off. But you gotta understand, it's gonna be a whole lot of people killed. It's gonna be a whole lot of casualties. You know, to make a statement like that, man, you gotta be a bold, bad motherfucker with a plan. And if we
Or just,
going into a war without a plan, huh?
I said, or just really stupid.
Yeah, it didn't make sense, man. And I take my hat off to them riders, but don't play yourself like that. You know, uh, we ain't got nothing in the air. We ain't got no drones that's gonna drop a bomb in the hot zone. We ain't got no robots that's gonna knock the door down and drop something. We are outnumbered when it comes to uh, weapons, uh, air, whatever. You know, so for those guys to talk like that in Chicago, they'll nuke the whole goddamn Chicago.
If they had to, they would.
Yeah. So, man, come on, man. We need to be together as a unit before we even think and down those lines. Feel me? I wouldn't go with them. Nigga, y'all taking y'all stuff to the slaughterhouse on your own. I ain't going there.
Yeah, I thought that
I'm
was a
good.
crazy ass statement when he said it. I said he must not know the type of technology and weapons that they have.
Right. Let me ask
So,
you
what
this.
do you think about the National Guard going to DC and all of that stuff, though? What do you think about that? Do you think that it's needed? It's not needed, and it was mentioned that they are going to send them to Chicago and Detroit. Do you think it's needed to go clean up the
You,
crime and violence over there?
you know what? Have you ever had the National Guards to go to D.C. or any other state around here?
Well, they came to
Donald,
LA back in the day. Well, twice. They
okay,
came to LA a couple
well,
times.
92. Donald Trump is a backward ass dude. You know that, right?
Well, before we get there, okay, I'll let you say. I just
No,
want
no,
to
no,
know,
no,
should,
no. We ain't
should
gonna
the
get
National
there.
Guard be there
No,
to clean?
I don't think they should go to Chicago. I don't think you should play your cards like that because you know you can win that war. But for him to want to do that, he already knows it's a war won. So he gonna clap himself on the back because he gonna think, uh, yeah, I went there and you know it was a very easy task. I did that. He applied himself, dog.
You almost do a pretty good Donald Trump. I'll give you that. It was almost kind of good.
Well, tell you very much. I'm real talk. You know, don't do something because you know you won. You know what I'm saying? That you will win, and you gotta agree with me. If he did that, he's just not coming with troops on the ground. He coming with the helicopters, the whole nine, to win. Just like in D.C., he already knew if they bip up a fart, I got their ass. So me sending them here, and now my point is proven. But what he do when the insurrection came? Because you started that motherfucking war.
Well, okay, hold on. I don't want to go too far. So, because now my next
I'm
thing
going
is,
to
so you said, okay, they shouldn't come to Chicago or another city. So now I want to know is um, just over the course of 2 weeks ago, 350 people were shot and about 120 people were killed in Chicago. So, and 80% of them were black, under the age of 18 years old as well.
right.
60% were under the age of 18, 80% of them were black. Get my numbers correct. So now what do we do? Because we're talking about gang banging and violence. So how do we stop it? And now what do we do to stop it? That was hundreds of young black men lives that were lost over the course of 3 to 4 days. So now what, or do we do nothing, or do we not allow anybody to do something? Or what could stop the crime in Chicago, like instantly, like immediately?
The, the military ain't gonna stop it instantly, and it don't give no resolution to the problem. Man, it takes us. We gotta. If every black man went to them to Chicago, all the black man got to do is see that another black man cares man, it's this, that, or the other. His whole attitude changed. The majority of 'em. Some of them don't give, some don't care. But man, that's a cold. That's cold. Um, it's gonna take a whole lot for those young brothers out there to really get it. Living that life at some time, at some point, you're next. So everybody days is numbered. Everybody day is numbered. And man, stop living the way you live. It's ridiculous out there. I know some people out there, and and in that particular area, it's not good at all. It's not good at all. But here we are. We look at social media. We look at all this other shit, and it don't matter. It don't matter until you get caught. You feel me? When you get caught, that's when it's like, oh man, why the fuck I do that? But that's a hard one to.
So, and I want to kind of double down on it. So, what about this part then? So, and you're right. So, I'll say this: we should clean up our own community, but here we are, let's say 20, almost 30 years later, with the violence in Detroit, Chicago, Los Angeles, and we haven't cleaned up our communities after almost 20, 30 years. So, should the government come do it, or should the government still allow us to give us a chance to clean up our communities? And how long
No,
does it take?
the government should work with the community and sit down and try to fix this shit. Uh, to come in and take over, you're gonna meet resistance. So let's get to. We already know what the root of the problem is. So we got to find a way to get to the to the main source to fix it. I mean, if man, I ain't gonna even say that.
Well, what's the
But
root of the problem? I'm not sure we all know that because I know if I
the
say,
root of the problem is the mentality of the black man that don't believe we worth nothing. The, we sit here and think that we're fighting for a cause. This we ain't fighting for no cause. You got men that go to the goddamn military and been in Vietnam that come back home and they on the street. They homeless. You got game bangers today. Man, when I say I truly believed in the lifestyle, I truly believe that that was a job every day. You wake up, you put your pistol in your hip, and you go outside. You know how many men believe that? Back then, it was no uh uh all this rah rah shit and bullshit. It was hands on. Nigga, you got caught slipping, you got took out. You
facts.
got you got caught speaking on the homie and telling on this nigga and that nigga. You got dealt with. No conversations needed, man. All
On
this
the
bullshit,
and of state.
man, is is so out of hand. We don't believe we worth anything. We believe that I must knock this dude down because he's climbing the ladder too high. He looking good at what he's doing. He dressed too good. He got a nice car. All right, I'm gonna hate on this nigga. And whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't have to tear each other down. And that's the biggest problem. You can't get five motherfucking black singers. Name a group that's still together with and ain't had no money issues, no nothing. But they still together from the 80s to now. Every fucking black group you had uh, uh, at one point in time hated each other, fought over money, who wanted more money, whatever. Name a black man that can name another black man to say we've been in business 40 years or 5 years. There's some out there, but we need more of that. We need more. It can even be blacks and Mexicans. Let's form some businesses. Um, brakes, tires. Uh, uh, man, there's so much can be did, bro. But we ain't gonna put our heads together, and this is what they count on. You got millionaire black men that believe I'd rather go to the hood and fuck with the homies instead of doing, A, B, and C. No, get with two other black brothers and form and make a company that benefits your people. This is what
No,
we gotta do.
100%. That's 100%. And well, see, and now I want to piggyback off of that because how many black men want to, like you said, do something that's going to benefit the community? How many when we do business, we want to open up barbershop, hair salons, soul food restaurant. That's pretty much the run of our business. Maybe a tire shop here or there, but we know the Hispanics kind of got that on lock. But do you see brothers trying to open up a concrete, facility? Are they opening up a recycling plant? Are they anything, roofing, building houses, anything that's
Yeah,
electrical,
yeah.
infrastructure?
You got some gang members that hire gang members. You got some brothers out here that took a whole different turn in living life. Now, I'm not saying let's count all of us out because if I ever had that type of money, I swear to God to you, it wouldn't be no broke motherfuckers, no broke men in this camp. I done did the homeless. I done gave away ties. I think a young man growing up today, if he don't know how to tie a tie and wear a suit, he lost. So it's a lot of things that we haven't learned. All we know is self destruction, bro. All we know is how to kill. All we know is how to hurt the next person. This is what you got to get away from. But
Now,
if
is
you
this the
if
majority of us or is this some of us?
say what now,
Is this the majority of us or is this some of us?
man, that's what every conversation we have. The majority and some of us don't feel this way, and the majority do. Is that every what you saying? It applies to everybody. There's both ways. There's no one way to go on nothing we do on this planet, unless you one of those hypocritical ass persons that believe it's your way or no way, and you find out later that your way is not always the right
No, no,
way.
this is what I'm asking because we're talking about black
I
people and
know
black
what
people
you're asking.
mentality. So, would you say the majority, let's just talk about the young black men. Are the majority of young black men, are they YNs or are they respectable young men trying to do right in society? So,
What is the YN?
a YN is a
What's that?
young nigga. That means that's what they say. That's what they call the young niggas out there doing the crime, doing all of the crazy man stuff. They call them YNs. So
Sixty
simply,
six
would you say the
percent.
majority of blacks in America, would you say we're niggas or would you say we're black people? What is the majority of us?
The majority of us out here right now today is 70% niggas. 30% of niggas that learned their lesson. I'm telling you, just straight fucking niggas. We man, and I'm not counting myself out of it. Just because I come here and I feel different about that life, I get it. But when you do that, man, I'm one of those niggas that destroy that thank God I can talk about it now, that's trying to rebuild. I'm not going away and try to rebuild and can't do me. I understand me now. I know the shit that I did, the chaos that I caused. I can't fix none of that. And a lot of cats are stuck in the past. I'm not stuck in the past no more. I believe I was forgiven for those things that I've done in my life. Long as I stay on this path, giving back and talking and trying to teach the next young cat, you don't have to be a me. And don't get me wrong, 90% of me is everything in LA, California. It's that many motherfuckers. it's that many men go through this gangster mentality shit. I ain't by myself. I can't say I'm the only thug on the planet. That's why some of these cats kill me when they talk about New York and Chicago and and Denver. Man, it's gangsters all over this planet. It's some real cats all over this world. Not just sprinkled, but to eat this shit up here. If Iraq was in California, it wouldn't be California. I'm telling you. So, but we put all these titles and labels on shit, man. And we gotta understand too that and I understand that I wasn't the only cat out there that thought I was violent or being or living a gangster life. I'm not the only one out there that believed that. There's still a whole lot of them out there that believe that. But it's a lot of them that out there like me at this point don't even rock with the gang shit. Ain't got time for it. You got to look at the ones that got married and being a grandpa and doing social media. You got to look at the ones that don't touch that shit, period. You got to look at the ones like myself. It took a little bit longer for me to understand my position as a man. And then I had to understand my position as a black man. I've been fighting against myself for 60 years. You feel me? With everything going on. And you got a 25-year-old nigga telling me about a street code? Well, you better go and play with somebody else. Don't worry.
That's real
I'm too
shit.
old. No, for real. I'm too old. But really, I mean, I try my best, just like you. I try to surround myself with people that are articulate. No matter what I say, no matter what topic I get on, Choo Choo can elaborate. Choo Choo can articulate what I'm saying, right? Sometimes. Till we get into
I
the
think
heated conversation. Um, but I'm good on agreeing and disagreeing. Right?
for
No matter
sure.
how it goes. Everybody has their own opinion, you know. But I'm really touching on these things. Um, I had I've seen this video. I don't do the gang banging shit, but it's just some cat in that world behind me that I got nothing but mad love for,
Hmm.
and I can honestly say I know who they are. I know who's good. You know what I'm saying? Um, I watch people talk and talk bad about what I call real niggas OT. I met Peabody in the county jail. I believe it was 80, 81, in the blood of my. And I get mad when I hear the youngsters speak down on real, real niggas that believed in this like 100. I want you to. I believed in gang banging was the purpose. You didn't have to ask me where I was from. I wore it every day on my hat, every day on my shirt. You don't know what Pyru means. You boy gonna go play with somebody. And Peabody he's still alive, a real cat. But I remember we go on a visit, and Peabody had called out 7, 8, maybe 10 cats, and they would go visit, and he would get that wet 40 from all these cats. Get the wet 40, get the wet 40, and break cats off, the homies off. A good dude. But here it is, 2025. This man been in jail for a long time, Choo, and I hate when these apples and orange ass niggas, these new gang members, uh, uh, I'm tired of niggas telling me he gang banged for 9 years and this makes him a G. I'm tired of listening to niggas talking about I started in 2007. Nigga, you are okay. Let me calm down. Let me calm down. At one point in time, it was real life, and I can never downplay a man that gave his life for what these the majority of these cats out here today are disrespect or not giving the respect that was due for those cats that stood on the top of the mountain at one point. Those dudes that gave up their life at one point. 1992, I was against that peace treaty thing, and I knew it wasn't gonna work. And I seen them coming in the county jail left and right. Oh, homie, man, we was woo-woo. That shit ain't gonna work. You had nobody organized. But anyway, I listened to these guys talk about men such as uh, Peabody. This was the real dude in my eyes. That's my opinion. And to listen to cat piss on and you ain't even on that level, you gotta be ashamed of yourself. You need to grab the Bible. You need to ask God to forgive you for living the way you live it. And I don't want to say names. I'm not giving nobody their flowers that don't understand this life. You're criticized if you do, and then you're more criticized when you quit the gang life. You're criticized more. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. And it don't make sense, bro. It don't make sense.
Well,
I told Reggie,
I want to say,
I
I went through it, similar with, being a part of the hood, being active in the hood, going to prison for putting in work for the hood, and coming home and seeing it from a different perspective, and just kind of realizing, you know what, this isn't worth it. I see something different, at a younger age. And, like you said, some people be on the top of that mountain, but because of what we're changing and the direction in which we're going now, you get a lot of people who don't want to respect it no more. When I start telling dudes to do solar, let's go to school and get on this solar stuff. Let's, I ain't saying not worry about all this, but we ain't about to go put a gang of energy over here. We're gonna put energy on this solar and doing this. You know how many people basically talked about me and said different things and disrespected me. When we first went to go feed the homeless, and I brought you with me, and how many people didn't like the fact that I was siding with, a blow. You dealing with this blood dude, and you dealing with this. How you gonna have him come feed the people in our community? And so you get that. But this is what I'll say. I'll say the world doesn't like it when you're committing crimes, gang banging, and doing so much stuff. When you reform or rehab your life, you can look at I don't really want to bring him up, but look at Big U. When Big U reformed his life, he had everybody dealing with him, as far as the mayors, the politicians, the senators, police departments, businesses. So he was accepted and respected by the world, but yet the hood might say something else to you. And that's why I believe he had to keep one foot in and one foot out, because he still wanted that hood respect and not just the respect of society and culture.
I think every man has to be the dumbest person on the planet to make money, to get out of their neighborhood and then go back and meet his demise because you want to prove to the hood you with it. You don't owe the hood nothing. The hood, the community ain't never paid you. So if you make money and you go out and live a better life, man, you don't have to go back to the hood. It's not many that I would go back to the hood and say, here, here, here. I got about that many. 10. 10 cats I got love for. And then I got some, yeah, I fuck with them too. But I got 10 that I would go broke for. But I would never go back to the hood. I don't owe the whole hood. And if I went back to the hood, they would have to come to this building and go to work every day.
Hmm.
No excuse. I wouldn't go to the hood to give you money. I'll go to the hood to bring you to the money and giving you a
Fact.
job.
Provide an opportunity.
That's the only way. Ain't no going back to the hood and kick. Look at it. Everybody that went back to the hood or go back to the hood has failed. Either got killed or went to prison or in prison.
You know, a brother of mine that I know, Eugene Williams, he ran for Congress. A brother, he's, shout out to him. And, he actually told me that sentiment. When I was out there doing a lot of the stuff I was doing, feeding the homeless with, me and Smooth and, a lot of the stuff that I was doing. And, he told me, he said, bro, check it out, cleaning the community up, graffiti removal. He said, bro, a lot of these guys know you. He said, but look at Nipsey. He said, Nipsey got killed in his own hood, bro. He said, and I would hate for that to happen to you, where you're out here bringing jobs, paying for people to get qualified in solar, cleaning the community up, feeding the homeless, and for whatever reason, you get killed in the hood. He said, I would hate to see that for you, bro. He said, I'm not saying stop what you're doing, but I don't think you need to be so much boots on the ground in your own community doing this. And I had to put that in perspective because it's so many that we've seen it happen to.
Yeah,
Hey, can
yeah.
we take a quick break real quick?
What you got to do?
Take a leak real fast.
Hey, get you a can and pee right there. Time is money.
I know. All right. Give me 2 minutes. My bathroom is right there.
Now go ahead. Go ahead.
All right.
I
That way
just,
he can
I,
edit this part out. Yep. That way you can smoke your cigar a couple times.
no, I'm a smoke. I'm a grown ass man.
All
I
right.
hate
Give me.
to let you,
All right. Give
but
me a couple seconds.
go ahead. You know, just to piggyback off of certain things, and I just wanted to be clear. I'm not no trying to be nobody's captain, save nothing. I'm just looking for ways and opportunities or find different alternatives for us to live better as black men. And you have a lot of black men out there that can speak on the same thing I'm talking about, but they so far spread it apart. You really don't get the message unless you run across it on Facebook. I think the majority of the men that's out here living that life today, they all need to team up. $100 a month will go a long way. If it's a most, if it's a gang up, and you could be able to hit these different places and talk to these young people and get at some of these OGs that believe um, the way we live is that way. And I get them ones that believe that there's no way out. I don't have nothing else to do. I don't have nowhere to go. It's a lot of homies in the hood ain't never left the hood. Only on the Grey Goose or in a police car when they leave the hood and go to the jailhouse to the penitentiary. a lot of homies ain't never been nowhere, and we just ain't gonna get it. Every day we see, hear, and feel the same thing, and we see the same people. Ain't nothing gonna change. If I go to Compton, I know five people that grew up with me will still be on that brick wall, and they still there today. You got men coming out of prison after 35 years and then pass them up. If we can't be productive, man,
Well,
we
I
live
tell you
so
what I
depressed.
know we lost. I tell you what I know we lost a little bit of. Even though me coming back as a young man, growing up, in the hood, I had OGs that they took me fishing, they took me horseback riding, motorcycle riding, going camping, ATVs. They did. Some of these older guys did stuff with us, and then same thing with the chosen few. I don't know if you ever want to go into some of that conversation, but a lot of people, told me the very first time they ever went to Colorado River or went camping or went fishing was with some of those OGs. You know what I mean? Whether it was with the
Right.
church, the motorcycle club, or even gang banging in some instances. So I think showing these young men more to life, because a lot of these guys, they stay in the city and they never leave the city, they never leave their neighborhood. And there's a lot more to life, and then how to deal with people and treat people. And I'm not saying everybody's always right, but if you're out of bounds and you go, let's say, to Beverly Hills, and this is how they act, well, get in your car and go. Don't sit there and fight, because you're fighting a losing battle over here. Or when somebody says a certain comment, maybe they didn't mean anything by it, but you just don't know how to deal with nobody because you're not cultured. So I think we got to actually start culturing. I told some gentlemen, I said, I'm gonna take you guys horseback riding. They said they'd never seen a horse live in person. He was like, cuz I ain't never even seen a horse. I said, you've never seen a horse? He said, no, never in for real in life. I said, all right. I said, not only am I gonna take you to see some horses, I said, not this weekend, but next weekend we're gonna go horseback riding.
Damn.
And I
Hey,
think we need to do simple things like that. And then when we are doing those things, now we can have these conversations about, because back in the day we had some uncles and these OGs that would ask us, hey, what's going on with you and your wife? You good with your job? Hey, this and this is good. You all right? You need to get that car checked. Like, they talk to us about life and certain things. Most people don't even talk about life no more. You got people say they friends, cousins, family members, brothers, and you don't even know what happened to this dude last week or 2 weeks ago.
right. Right.
Can't even tell me how he got the scar on his back. You feel me? Like how you was
Well,
describing that situation
what situation?
about your brother, about the scar he got.
All right. See, my brother is dead.
Well,
Uh,
but see how you know that though. And I understand how you say that and why you say that, but some people don't even know. You know what I mean? They don't just know. They just don't know. So how you gonna say somebody is your family, or you will or won't do something for somebody, but you don't even know the simplest, smallest detail?
well, here's the killer part on that. Family. Family is so different. You don't have the Sunday dinners no more. You don't have the family picnics. You don't have the family outing. You don't have none of that no more. And I'm not just gonna blame because Big Mama gone. You had aunties and another Big Mama to take Big Mama place when Big Mama left.
Hmm.
But that person that was to take her place is full of shit, mess, and that broke the no serious. That broke the chain.
No, that's the
Now
truth. That's the truth.
now look at us. Look at black people today now. The majority of us don't even deal with our siblings. The majority of us don't even know our siblings' kids or grandkids. It's so different. We are so separated. It's crazy. But then it ain't crazy because what was told back then has become a reality. If y'all don't
Hmm.
get y'all together, y'all ain't gonna be. After I'm gone, and all shit gonna break out. It's gonna fall to pieces. It's gonna go to hell, and that's where we at today. And I can say this. That's where I'm at with my family. I don't know some of my nephews. I don't know some of my nephews' kids because everybody is so just family right now today. Will be the ones that turn their back on when you know you was there for your family. They'll be the first to turn their back. They are the first to envy you. They are the first to take sides with the enemy over you. They are the, and I've been through all this. But you know what? At the end of the day, the only thing you can do, I can't get mad at it no more. All I do is just, man, I give all that to God, and I move on. Too. I don't stress. I don't. I'm not catching no tantrum. I'm not. I'm not gonna get that angry because that's a waste of energy on people that we already know don't care. So when now we gotta understand, if somebody want to walk out your life, the first ones you gotta look at is those that keep going and coming back. If you walk this time, don't come back. But we gotta stop accepting them back, and then we gotta pay attention and listen to the conversations we have. Like we have conversations, boy, I listen to you, and I'm just trying to wait for that one word that said I knew it.
Hmm.
I ain't got it yet. That one word. So you know when your people around you are authentic, and I can say you're authentic because it ain't it ain't came to me, and I haven't detected anything for me to think that God damn, here we go again. So this is what we got to pay attention to, man, because everything we do anywhere, in the house, outside the house, reflects. It reflects on us, and if we don't pay attention to it, it's overlooked. Now, when you start seeing things, it might be too late. You caught on to it too late. But we got to pay attention to that. We got to pay attention to the shit that we read and see on social media because half of the shit is what they call content, clout, all that other shit.
Hmm.
We don't know, and most, well, not me, most people don't know where they're living or listening to a lie opposed to the truth. They don't get it. And some of them don't care. That's why I surround myself with these guys that I know gonna get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. These guys that I know if something happens to me, they already know what it is. I don't need retaliation. I need y'all to go get some taquitos, some cranberry juice, and get drunk. Celebrate me, don't cry over me. I don't need it. Don't whine. I have to learn. I learned that through all the funerals. My auntie, my grandfather, my mother, my grandmother. What am I crying? I'm gonna get drunk
No, that's
every
for real.
yeah, every February the 5th. I get drunk. Now I'm trying not to get drunk in cabs. So, I did that, for Alex's birthday. Every step. I swear to God, I can't get over it. It is hard. But, you know, a lot of people say this life you chose, you signed up for. Yeah, if you really living that life, you can't complain about shit. You can't complain. Nor should we be mad. And this is where I can go and say game banging can stop like that. Because we all lost the home. There's casualties in every hood. There's haters in every hood. There's busters. There's rats. There's uh niggas that'll sleep with your girl the day you pass. You got cats that hit on your woman in your face. Every hood has this. Every element that one neighborhood is fighting over, we got them everywhere. So ain't nobody exempt to the BS or to what we say real life. We all we all in it the same way. There's no other way out. And it's either get your BS together or follow the path you on that leads to the penitentiary or death. Because somebody gonna catch up with you. You feel me? So man, we don't have no option. We don't have no option. That's why I try to teach Lionel. You're gonna grow up and you're gonna go to school. When you get out of school, then you can get a job. You can get a girlfriend. You know me, I was very disrespectful to women in the beginning of my time because I didn't respect my mother. You know, it wasn't until I got out of prison I respected my mama. You feel me? I had no love for her or that dude they called James C. McDonald. No respect, brother. They couldn't tell me nothing. And after I shot Timmy, I tore that gun up. But this one right here, if this dude think he finna break me down like he did in my younger days, ain't happening. I'm living that life now. He might get fired. But I mean, I look
No,
at
that's
everything.
understandable, but that shows your growth, right? And you
Yeah,
went through these things, and like you said, you were disrespectful to women, not just to any women. You were disrespectful to all women, including your mother. But you learn certain things, and this is like how you said at the very beginning: people can change. Just because I start off one way doesn't mean I have to end that way. And
yeah. So
I
why
think
be
I
mad
think
at a
a lot of
man?
times, though, and this is why I really respect you for what you do and for what you stand on, because a lot of people, when they do change, like let's look at those old Christians and a lot of people who used to do stuff in the streets, but then when they get into the church, they don't want to talk about it no more. They act like it never happened. And I think that's where a lot of people lose respect for people at, because hey, if you did do those things, own it, admit it, and don't never shy away from it, but just explain how you have grown from it. And I think that's why you get a lot of respect, Unc, because you don't
Well,
hide from it. Hey, I was with the bullshit, but this is where I'm at now.
and that's my purpose. You know, once upon a time in my life, I would not, and I was not comfortable telling no homeboy, thank you, Jesus. I wouldn't do that in front of no home. Now that I learned, now that I get it, now that I growed up, and in the name of Jesus, and me and my sister have conversations like this on a daily. Not tell black girl, I've learned my lesson. I know what God is doing. If God can turn me, everybody else should say, bow faith. If He can make me feel the way I feel, the way I live my life, the way I thought things were supposed to be, the things I went through. I tried to destroy my thing so many times, and I couldn't. Right now today, I fought with him, but I thank God for those friends that And people don't know you, but I know you. You came a long way. You are not the same person. And I have to pay attention and I will stop. And, you know, I believe, I believe in myself. I know who I am. Today, I can honestly say I know me. Today, I can honestly tell a woman, I know I'm a man. I don't need to live up under a woman to be comfortable or to have shelter. You feel me? And everything that I've done here, everything in here, I'm comfortable. I don't mind sitting at home by myself. It gives me time to think where I want to be, who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. It's a lot of people around here I don't talk to no more at all because they don't benefit me. They don't. They don't. They don't feed me that 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 new vibe. That I don't get nourished by the same old people. I don't learn nothing from the same old people. You know, it ain't until I talk to people like you, Choo, that that know pretty much everything that's going on, and I can debate with you. Some people ain't on that level, bro. So if it ain't educating and feeding the mind, then I'm wasting my time. I don't have time for misunderstanding. I don't have time for a nigga I know don't like me, but want to deal with me because he can get this, that, and that. Because he know Bob James got love for niggas, and he gonna give you the shirt off his back. Nigga, you better kick rock. That's what I say. And when I see those that I don't like, don't call me big homie. Fuck out my face. They call me a bully. I'm a grown ass man. And I look at him as a grown ass man. If you allow a grown ass man to talk to you a certain kind of way without no body movement or nothing else, that don't make me a bully. That makes you
A coward.
a bushwhacker. Yeah. So don't be mad at me. I had to deal with that on the bike set so bad, you know. And the motorcycle club, it taught me so much, man. I learned so much being in the club, and it helped me toward my growth because you had bylaws, and there were certain things I couldn't do as a chosen few because we had bylaws.
Hmm.
If it was just street, it would have been on in the club. Some people felt it. Some people had to be put in a place, but not all the ones that I wanted or should have been put in a place. But
Yeah,
bylaws,
it was a different procedure on the bike set because of the bike laws and the rules that were there.
yeah.
The bike,
But I love that.
the motorcycle scene was a lot more structured than the hood, than gang banging, which is why a lot of guys gravitated from the bike set. I mean, from gang banging to the bike set because
Because when you
it
go
was
to the
in them.
bike set, when you hit the motorcycle set, it's like a pinball machine. You're gonna run into men.
Hmm.
Those that was doing it way before our time, you ran into men. Like Pee Wee. Pee Wee used to tell me, young brother, learn how to pick your fights. Don't try to get in all the fights. Don't try to take up with somebody and fight with somebody. Pick your fight. I'm like, pick my fight. Yeah, pick and choose the fight that's worth it.
The
Don't
fight
jump
that's
into
worth
every fight.
fighting.
Yeah.
Real
And then
shit.
here go Pops. You know, Pops would tell me, hey, you don't need to take up with him. The only one you need to worry about is me. If somebody touch me, get him. All right, Pops, I got you. But we already know how that goes. You feel
I was
me?
gonna say what Pee Wee taught me was he said, "Listen, nephew," he said, "you ain't got to go get all the money." He said, "Figure out what you're trying to get and how much money you need to get, and either get that or get half of it, and then do it another day. You don't got to go get all the money today.
Right, right.
Get it and
But
get out the way."
every everything that was done, everything I've done was a learning experience, and a lot of that taught me taught me how to respect other people,
Hmm.
how to respect those that respect you. You have to give respect. If I came and I didn't respect the older guys, then I wouldn't be looked upon how they look at me today. You know what I'm saying? And that would I would it would all been bad for me. You know, because I came in there, I had a cocky attitude, and I didn't let the colors talk for himself. I don't care
Hmm.
what club you was in, but you ain't gonna talk like that. With and I got these on. You pee, you shit, you do everything just like I do, homeboy. Watch your mouth. And some people I had to prove it to. I ain't here playing with you. But and going through that whole process, I've learned. You know what I'm saying? I learned to grow up. And that's where the majority of the guys today, this is what they're doing. They're growing up and they standing up. That's what I mean by standing on 10,
Hmm.
being a man about it. I ain't got a lot of no man, and I ain't got to accept this, that, or the other from no man. So, I mean, we all got choices. We all got, but you know, before we go, man, I got to just say, man, your boy Trump is tripping. Is he sick? Is he finna die? What? You know
What
better because you love him.
what
What's
is he
happening
putting
with that
up?
guy?
Well, hopefully you love him too as a Christian. And when you say in the name of Jesus and you believe in Jesus, he taught us to love everybody. So hopefully you love him.
That's something totally different. I think my honest opinion. I think Trump is a dip damn fool. I think he's a gangster in his own way.
I'll give you
I
that.
believe he's I believe he's a dictator. I
I don't go.
believe that huh?
Said I
He
don't go for that one.
conjure up.
I'm just saying which ones
Well,
I
go
agree with. I do agree he's a gangster. I give you that. Trump is a real gangster.
okay. What about dictator?
No, he's not a dictator.
What about liar?
I'm sure he is. I think everybody lies or has lied. Everybody is a liar
No,
or
we're not talking about everybody. We talking about Donald Trump, a liar.
well, okay, so no, you know what? I'm going to rephrase that because this is what I will say. I don't think he is a liar. Has he lied before? Of course he has. But is he a liar? No, I don't think he's a liar.
So how can it be uh, uh, called contradict a contradiction if he's not alive? Trump believes in his own BS, and Trump he everybody that's around him, he will use you to gain anything that he wants, to do anything that he wants. He he's no he go one. How do Trump he gonna run in another 2 years? How you
He's,
gonna run?
he's not going to run in another 2 years.
28.
He's not going to run unless
So
the
like
Constitution gets changed to say that there's no more term limits.
ain't that what he trying to do?
No, no.
Okay, okay,
Well, see, here's the
okay.
thing.
I
Because I follow politics, right? That's like really my channel. That's what I do. So when you say, ain't that what he's trying to do? There's no laws being drafted or legislated on Congress or the Senate floor that's trying to change term limits. So when you say, is
well,
he trying to do that?
okay. Why is he saying you're gonna mess up my elections for 2028? And that's basically saying he's gonna try to run again, which he already know. This is it. Go sit your
Yeah.
ass down somewhere
So
and
so here's the funny part, right? And I think I think we can kind of agree with this. And most people won't, but we live in the world of the internet and trolling. We live in that world. So if there's something that you know is not true, let's just say for whatever, you know it's not true or you know it can't happen, but I tell you it's gonna happen anyway, and you believe me and you run stories and you give me free publicity and free time about it, well now I'm using you to my advantage. I just have to say something and you're gonna keep me in the headlines. I don't have to pay for publicity no more. So
Well,
whether you want to believe what I'm saying, because like I just said, there's nothing on the Senate floor, there's no law being crafted that says we're trying to do this. But if you're just going to listen to what I said on TV, hey, that's on you. But the laws is the laws. We can go look up the
okay,
law.
so it's okay for me to tell John we're gonna strike this off because I don't want to give him back. I was asking you a question because I really thought you was gonna be honest with me and say, yeah, he full of shit sometimes.
Well, you didn't ask
He
me
do say
sometimes.
some
You
things.
asked me that I think he was a dictator, and you asked me what, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think he's a liar. I do think that Trump, as a businessman, and I'm telling you, this is the reason why I am conservative, is because of the MAGA movement. I believe Trump has the best intentions for the general American public, more so than any other
Oh
president.
my God,
Probably
who?
FDR. I'd
Can
say
you tell me
probably.
why you believe that?
I know that, and here's the thing. I'll tell you, I don't just believe it to not believe it because of magic.
Well,
I
can
believe
you
it
tell me
because of
that?
the
Don't
laws.
say it. Tell me why you believe that.
Okay, so for instance, back in the 90s, when all the jobs started leaving the United States, well,
Uh,
hold on, I'm telling you why. So we had laws that allowed companies to send our jobs overseas. It was called NAFTA and it was called TPP. And Glass-Steagall was also kind of tied into that. So we had these laws that if you had a company and you want to go send your business over to another country and hire Mexicans or Chinese people or whatever, the government would give you a tax break for doing that. So that was that law. So Trump got away with that law and said, no, we're going to put in the United States, the USMCA, which
Trump was not there in the 90s, though. What are you talking about?
what I said was is since the 90s that law has been, which is why jobs got shipped overseas. Since the 90s, Trump came and did away with that law, which was called NAFTA. He changed NAFTA and updated the USMCA, which brought back millions of jobs back to the United States. He did
Where they
that.
at now today?
Upscale jobs for people in college, not just jobs for he brought back millions of jobs in almost every sector in America, from low-level jobs to high-paying jobs. That brought back millions of jobs. So that right there alone did something for everybody. So when Pookie and Ray Ray coming out of jail saying I need a job,
There you
what
go.
Trump did made there be more jobs available in America. He did. He did. Now, you don't have to agree with it, but that's the fact of the matter. What he did created millions of jobs for all Americans.
Is that is you stand on that right now today?
Yes, I stand on that. That's a fact right now. You can look it up.
That's a
Anybody
fact
can
right
Google
now.
it. That's a fact right now. That USMCA, when he abolished NAFTA using the MCA, it created millions of jobs for all Americans. That is a fact.
No, I don't believe
Okay?
that.
You don't
Well,
have to
Trump
believe it.
said
It's
he
a
gonna
fact.
stop. He said he gonna stop the wars. He said the gas prices gonna go down. He said you gonna egg prices is gonna go down. What went down? We up shit creek right now. What are you talking about?
Well, now,
And I
okay,
know
now
you feel it as well as I feel it.
you're asking me another question, and yes, prices are still high, but this is what everybody's not looking at, though.
What
So,
is that?
if we start talking the economy, before me and you, the person who's just going to the store, going to work, feel it, the companies feel it first. So, first, what happens is the Fed they lower the tax rate or they do the deficit of the Fed. And then all the businesses is called trickle down economics. They say it doesn't work, but I'll tell you what, capitalism has pulled more people out of poverty than any other institution known to man. Capitalism has done
All
this.
right, what
And
about you, black man? What about you? When you go to the store, is your eggs $20, $25, or $5?
no, my eggs is the same price everybody else is paying, but I'll tell you what the difference is. This is the difference
What's
that people are
the
overlooking. So you're not hearing what I'm saying now. Everybody is paying what they're paying for eggs, but you know what the difference is now opposed to 3 years ago? The price that it cost me to start my business, the cost that I'm paying in taxes for my business. If you are a business owner, what I have to pay for an employee, what I have to pay for taxes is significantly lower. Significantly lower. So you know what that means now? That means I could expand my business. I could hire more employees because my business taxes are lower. That's what that means. So everybody, yes, you're going to pay taxes on goods and services. That's not the conversation. We actually have to have a real conversation on the price index margin. If we're not talking about that, then we're not really talking about real economics. We're just talking
I
about,
know I know three people that has just tried to start their trucking business, and the prices for their license and everything else that they doing are so fucking high. 3 times as high as they
yeah,
would
you have to
normally be.
bring, okay. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to let you finish, but I'm glad you brought that up. I'm
No,
glad
I'm
you brought
done,
that.
bro. I'm done.
Okay,
Tell me.
so check it out. And we can Google these. This is what I tell people. I read what happened and how it happened and who did what. So
Uh,
again, thank Donald Trump, because guess what? All the truckers in about 5 to 6 months, their business license is going to be a lot cheaper. And I'll tell you why. The Trump administration, and I did a segment on this, the Trump administration just got rid of the endangerment findings by the EPA. So what does that mean in a nutshell? A lot of people don't like to listen to stuff, so I have to talk fast and explain it really quickly. So what that meant was when the diesel guys, when they have to put the DEF fluid and all that exhaust stuff and all of the restrictions that they had to put on their cars because of California catalytic converters, all those different things, Trump said it's not needed no more. You don't need to redate your car. So yes, we had guys who had to stop driving their trucks or buy new trucks because of the mandate by Joe Biden and Gavin Newsom. Trump did away with that, and it will be in effect within the next 4 to 6 months. So yes, the diesel industry is actually being saved by the Trump administration right now. So people can listen to sound bites and headlines, or people can actually go read the information. And this is why me and the guy, I'm not even going to name his name, but you know who I'm talking about. He's affiliated with the Chosen Few. This is why he got upset with me, because I told him to go read the information. Me and you ain't got to argue about it. Here's where the law exists. Let's read the law. Now you tell me your interpretation of what you read. I'm going to tell you my interpretation of what I read. But what we read is the truth. Let's go read the truth and now let's interpret it. He didn't want to do that. He just called me out, told me I was a liar, and that's why I got offended. I'm not a liar. Like you just said, I don't have to lie to no man. I'm telling you what I know and what I believe. Now you're calling me a liar. Now you're disrespecting me only simply because, and it didn't have to go that far. And you
I
don't have
got
to
you.
believe the stuff I'm telling you about Donald Trump, but this is what I implore anybody, you, the viewers, the audience, anybody on my channel. Any of the things that you heard me explain or discuss or express, you can look them up freely for yourself. And I tell
I,
everybody to do that. Don't listen to me. Go do your own due diligence and research on it and find the findings for yourself. That's what I tell everybody.
I do CNN. Trump ain't
Uh,
getting chipped. But anyway, man, I
I don't really
appreciate.
watch mainstream media no more. I do a lot of reading and looking for stuff on the internet because the media lies to you. You know, listen, Malcolm X. So, okay, listen, I told somebody this, right? I said, do you believe Malcolm X when he said the media will have you loving the people you should despise and despising the people you should love?
All right, Charleston, right? We're gonna stop right there. I ain't gonna talk about Malcolm X, and we damn sure ain't gonna compare him to a Donald Trump.
That's not
See,
what
this
I
is
was
what I
doing. I
say.
didn't do
I
that.
know, but listen. This is why I say where the blacks we are brainwashed to believe that what goes on in our culture ain't shit. We tend to believe and entrust in the white man. Not saying all white people are bad. I got some white people I love to death. Greg, Donna, they son. I got some white people I love to death. But I'm not gonna compare. I'm not gonna go there.
I
I'm
think
not
that's
gonna
a
do that.
dishonest argument. I think that's a dishonest argument, and I'll tell you why. Donald
No,
Trump is the president. Whether he was white or black, it had nothing to do with anything because when Obama was president, I voted for Obama the first time and I
here we go
believed in Obama.
again.
So why
You're
do you have to make a
justifying
comparison of him being white? Why
because
not read I
you
believe in the
justifying
president?
white and black. When this and that, when Trump is that, but when Obama, here we go a black man. When this was going on, why everybody believed when Malcolm X, here we go again, a black. Don't do that. That's, but anyway,
No, how
I,
are you
I,
going to
I
do it and tell me not to do it?
excuse me.
You brought up black or white. I'm only talking about a president. It
No,
doesn't
I'm
matter what color the
explaining to
president is.
you.
He's the
I
president.
mean, no, I explained to you that you were using the black and white code. That's all I said. You didn't have to say black and white, but you use black or white against each other. You cannot put a Malcolm X to a Donald Trump. Period.
I'm not doing that. I'm only telling you what Malcolm said.
Well,
I'm only just telling you what Malcolm said. Do we agree or believe what Malcolm said about the media? Because you said
I
you got your
prefer.
information from CNN. You said you watch CNN. So I just told you what Malcolm X said about the media and that we shouldn't believe the media.
Damn, they had CNN when Malcolm X was alive.
No, they didn't. But he told you don't believe the media
Okay.
and mainstream media at that. So listen, now you probably have to cut this part out because the mainstream media is ran Jews, and we know that. So we know it's only 7 families who basically put out the information. Just like right now, you probably put this part in. There's a guy in Atlanta, Georgia named King Randall. He built the school, Unc. He got about, I want to say, 50 to 100 little boys who come to his school and they learn car stuff, how to put on suits, how to eat right, how to talk proper, how to do mechanics, how to do gardening work, and he's been doing this for almost 5 years. He started off in his
Okay.
house by adopting kids. He first had to adopt them so he could have legal guardianship over them and different things, and the parents were with it. But we don't see him on the news. Why is not King Randall on the news talking about his schools? But listen
We
to my point.
already know. We already know.
Everybody's talking about
Every
everybody's
black
talking about
man.
Dr. Umar.
Here we go. Every man, y'all talk about Donald Trump and Dr. Phil more than y'all talk about your own people.
I'm
So
not
why do
talking
you
about.
expect other
Why do
people?
you bring up Donald
Listen,
Trump?
this what I'm saying. Listen, this what I'm saying. We're quick to give praise to anything outside of our kind. We're quick to do that. We're quick to downplay the black men that meant so much to black people. I'm gonna let you read in between the lines. Um, you know, it's so sad when you have dudes like Charleston White, like certain other individuals that say Martin Luther King was nothing but a whoremonger. That this brother did. Man, I don't care what he did in his private life. One thing I know for a fact, he marched, he walked longer than the things he did in his private life outside of his family. He spoke for black people. He walked with black people. So, man, we are so quick to bring down the legend. We are so quick to tear down our history. And the cold part about it, and I'm gonna get off this thing. We sit back and we applaud the cats that do it. No, we need to attack the black man that want to talk about another black man and downplay him. Motherfucker, this is why you wear tennis shoes. He's the reason why you was able to go to school. And we talk about him. We trying to downplay his legacy. And these cats shouldn't be able to speak on our history. That's like talking about my grandfather. But at the end of the day, Choo, I appreciate you. I'm gonna have to get you on here again so I can go straight politics with your ass. I'm gonna do my homework. Um, I don't know, bro. I'm we gonna talk.
Thank you. Hey,
And you
I
need to get
appreciate
over here,
that.
man. You need to get
I,
over here.
I will. I am. I'm gonna get over there. I told you the dogs that I got the van going, but they ate the wires. I had put my pit bulls in there just because I didn't have the structure for them done, and they ate the wires and
Man,
stuff. Man,
come get this dog food. I got chicken, I got ribs, I got all kind of stuff for your dog
for
that
sure.
they
All right,
can
well, let's
eat.
do my
Eat
salutation,
that.
and I'll let you go because I know John got his stuff to do too. So I'll let y'all get up
Yeah.
out of here.
All
Appreciate
right.
you.
All right,
So
everybody.
thank you, everybody. I appreciate you watching this episode of Mobbing with James McDonald with his guest, the Choosta. That's me. You guys can follow me on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, at the Choosta. It's probably here on the screen. And I just implore you guys to listen to more positive conversations like this. You know, hey, we not the problem's not gonna fix themselves, but as long as we do this, we'll at least hear some answers, and maybe we can fix the problems with each other. I appreciate you guys.
Right. On that note, we out.